West Rock Hill Board of Supervisors meeting. Would you all please rise and join me in the pledge to the flag? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I'd like to thank you all for coming. First on the agenda is if there's any public comment on the agenda items, please state your name and address. Seeing none. Under announcements, the first announcement that I have is the conditional use hearing that was scheduled for tonight has been delayed until January 21st meeting, which that will be our next Board of Supervisors meeting in January. So that hearing has been moved. That will not take place tonight. Okay. Second on here, I just want to make everyone aware that the board has met in executive session after the November 19th meeting to discuss litigation and personnel matters. And then next on the announcements here, it is great pleasure. You know, we have recognized citizens over the years on the back wall back there where the chief is sitting, for their time, talents, and efforts that they have provided. This year, we are going to be acknowledging a citizen that has done a lot of work for the township over the years. He's helped with the historical society projects, the township park projects, the holiday house pool. Tremendous amount of work. A lot of you know him. His name is Tony Bogner. Okay. So I want to read the resolution so that it is accepted into tonight's meeting. And this is a resolution of the West Rock Hill Township Board of Supervisors recognizing the honoring resident Tony Bogner. Whereas our community looks back over its history, a few volunteers stand out for their contributions which have been made to West Rock Hill Township, such as fine place to live and a fine place, as whereas one of the residents, Tony Bogner, is such an individual known for his long and active volunteer service to West Rock Hill Township, selfishly giving his time, resources at community events, at the James Memorial Park property, at the Holiday House Pool property, for the West Rock Hill Historical Society, at the Heritage House property, along with his long years service and alternate member of the West Rock Hill Township Planning Commission. And whereas Mr. Bogner has earned the respect and admiration of the citizens and administrators of West Rock Hill Township for his genuine commitment to the welfare of the community. Now, therefore, the West Rock Hill Township Board of Supervisors extends heartfelt appreciation and sincere thanks to Mr. Tony Bogner for his valuable service and dedication to the citizens of West Rock Hill Township. Resolved this 17th day of December 2025. I want to thank you, Tony, for all your service that you've given to the township. Okay? Can you come forward here? Come.
Can we get a sneeze from you, please?
Thank you.
Here, hold on this way.
Hey, thank you.
Yep.
Complete surprise, right?
And now for an extra.
Okay, thank you all. Now, moving forward, the consent agenda, November 19th meeting minutes, the WIN plan review, escrow and release vouchers, action on the plans about to expire, emergency services report, building and zoning report, public works report, planning commission report, park and rec committee report, conservation committee report, the Mylars for signature, reserve at Rock Hill, LD 632. And Greg, I'll ask you to read the treasury report, please, and pay the bill.
Sure. The treasurer's report as of November 30th, the general fund, $1,526,418.95. Highway aid, $253,179.59. Open space, $1,486,239.02. The park fund, $60,532.04. The equipment fund, $34,389.17. Highway capital, $154. Street light, $40,735.73. The reserve fund, general fund reserve, $525,673.45. Open space Manderfield, $41,436.27. Sewage maintenance, $223,180.78. Stormwater fund, $1,569.95. And the escrow funds, $1,003,670.40.
Okay, any questions for Greg?
No
No
questions.
questions?
No questions?
Okay,
As usual, thanks to all our fire and EMS responders.
that's correct. I'll echo that. Okay, I will entertain a motion for approval of the consent agenda.
So moved.
Okay, motion's been made.
Second.
Second, all those signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda here is confirmed appointment, Mr. Fred Dicerode. Please, that way people can hear you on the intercom.
Recorded for posterity.
Well, first of all, thank you for the opportunity. I'm approaching the board to request them getting involved with some historical measures, which boil down to using some of the historical sketches I put together and purchasing those for use of the township building forevermore. And what I'd like to do is propose what we did for the Historical Society. Without going into a lot of detail, we were able to raise a little less than $25,000 by selling books of sketches and using the money that we got for the sketches for the publishing cost for the books. And on that particular project, we printed 500 books and sold well over 420, still have a few left. But anyhow, it was a labor of love, and it was very prosperous for the West Rock Hill Historical Society. But basically what we did was we sold sketches of houses, buildings, portraits, whatever, and then donated all that money to the Historical Society. And everything was, well, there's no cost involved with the exception of the publishing costs. And to publish 500 books, it cost about $25,000. So we raised close to that and then raised all that kind of money and more. And I'm suggesting that we try to raise that money and work with, well, I'm suggesting 5 different townships to do sketches in the townships and have them donate the money for the sketches and then see if we can publish another book of sketches of the 3 townships or 5 townships. I've already approached Sellersville Borough and they're aboard for 4 sketches. I have a meeting scheduled with another big township and the sketches sell for $1,000 a piece plus the cost of the frame. And they're similar to the sketches on the wall. What we're talking about with West Rock Hill, it'd be 6 sketches, which you have now, and you pick the 6 historical buildings you'd be interested in. And on West Rock Hill, we've done over 160 sketches. So we have, churches and restaurants and the Fry's House and, well, we have a lot of historical buildings. So it's a good group to pick from. So the bottom line would be that if we can get a certain amount of money from each township, then we could subsidize the publishing costs. Then once we had the 500 books published, we would give, and then just pick a number, 100 of each to whichever township was interested in doing this. And then the township could sell them for whatever price. We sold the ones in West Rock for $50 a piece. And well, some people don't want to pay for, or can't afford $50 a piece. So it's up to the township what they want to sell them for. But if we would get 6 sketches at $1,000 a piece, or possibly have people in the township who want their house done or portraits or whatever, donate, and we would do the sketch and then donate that. That'd be part of the township contribution. So the bottom line, if the township expended $6,000 for 6 sketches, and we were able to sell the 500, the 100 that would go to West Rock Hill Township, there would be expenditure of roughly $1,000. So we're asking the township to consider that. And basically where we are now is we have $4,000 from Sellersville. You're the second township we approached, and we have 3 people who have already committed to do sketches. So in round numbers, we have, roughly $10,000. So we're looking to come, get an additional 15 more to make this work. And one of the things we could suggest is we do it in terms of if somebody wanted to recognize a citizen in the township, somebody who has done a lot of work, and we might mention Ibby Shermer, that they could donate the picture, and then we'd have to get less money from the township. So that, in a nutshell, is what we'd like to do. Appreciate your consideration. I think it would benefit the township. We'd get some historical information that would be on the wall forevermore, and it would go a long way into, helping to decor the meeting room. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question, Fred. I may. Assuming you're going to be the new Walter Baum of West Rock Hill Township, this would be a good investment. So specifically, you're looking for $3,000 or $6,000 from the town?
Well, I'm looking for 25. And if we did, if we gave 6 sketches, that would be 6. If you only want to do 3 sketches, that's 3. And you're good at math. If you don't do any, was 0. So it's flexible, but every bit helps. And there's no money in it for anybody, except if they can sell more sketches or get more money for the books they put together, because we're giving the 100 books to the township at no cost. So there's no lose there if we can get the publishing cost.
Well, I have a view. I'd like to take this under advisement and think about this a little bit. To determine whether or not, if we want to move forward and how we want to move forward. That's my perspective for tonight. But I do thank you for your presentation. Al, do you have any concerns or questions for Fred?
No, I always thought that the pen and ink drawings are excellent and do a great job of capturing the essence of the architecture, and you get some of the views that we all kind of see when we're driving past. Unfortunately, most of the time we're driving past, you don't actually get a chance to stop and look and enjoy and see the architecture and all the points of architecture is frozen music. You get to see how the things are all laid out. But yeah, if we have a way of pulling together some support for that, that sounds interesting. And I'll talk to Mom about.
Well, it worked well with
Farmhouse.
the Historical Society.
Right.
If we can get the donations, because, there's no way to lose any money. And somebody mentioned Baum. I think the closest I'll get for Baum over at Bean Thatcher, I have a sketch in the same room with Baum.
I think it's in the blue room, isn't it?
Well, it's the room across the street in the conference room.
I have a comment.
Go ahead.
We have 2 properties in West Rock Hill Township that are on the National Historic Register. And I think that one is the Tabernacle and one is the churches and the buildings at Ridge Valley. And I think it's so important that we have this opportunity to capture those, because I know you have the Tabernacle. I know you have the four churches. I know you have some major restaurants in the township, all of them actually, in fact. But I think it would be important to lose this opportunity. Grab these are originals, right, Fred? You signed
Right,
them?
oh yeah, originals. I forgot to mention that.
And this is like a one-time opportunity, and I think you want to table it, that's fine, but I think we need to look at it historically, like what's best for this township in the next year, to support Fred and this initiative for the township. I think we'll be sorry if we don't.
Well, a couple I didn't mention, like the log cabin burned down. Fortunately, we got a sketch of that before it burned down. You know, the German club or whatever it was called down there on Clymer Road. We have sketches of that. We have the Ingram House. You know, there's a bundle of buildings in West Rock Hill which are historical. And it would be nice to take a select few at least and keep them, you know, forevermore.
Okay.
Okay, well, I appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Fred.
We will take this under advisement and we will revisit this next month.
Well, I appreciate that very much. See you later.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you, Fred.
And anybody who wants their house drawn can contact Fred directly.
$1,000, right? You want one?
All right, next on the agenda is the committee reports. There's none on here because there was no committee. The planning commission canceled, lack of business. Next on the agenda there is commission reports. First on the agenda here is Penn Ridge Regional Police Chief Dickinson. How are you, sir?
Good, sir. How are you?
Well, thanks.
Okay, I have the Penn Ridge Regional Police Department Chief Report for November of 2025. Police Department responded to 780 calls for service in the month of November. 316 of those calls were in East Rock Hill Township. 451 were here in West Rock Hill Township, and 13 calls were assisting our neighboring agencies. The department handled 29 traffic crashes in that month. 12 were reportable, 17 were non-reportable, with 10 occurring in East Rock Hill Township and 19 here in West Rock Hill Township. The criminal activity that was reported for the month of November included 8 crimes against property, 4 crimes against persons, 5 crimes against society, and 9 Group B offenses, which are your more minor offenses. Of those reported crimes in East Rock Hill Township, we had 2 domestic disturbances / assaults, 1 disorderly conduct, a DUI crash, a report of harassment, a report of a sexual assault, 1 drug complaint, and 1 weapons offense. In West Rock Hill Township, we responded to 2 hit-and-run crashes, 1 DUI crash, 1 simple assault complaint, one complaint of child abuse, 3 criminal mischief reports, 2 drug reports, 2 fraud reports, 2 harassments, 2 thefts, and 1 trespassing complaint. The criminal charges that we filed in the month of November include a charge of public drunkenness, 2 charges of simple assault, 2 charges of harassment, 1 charge of involuntary sexual assault, 1 charge of statutory sexual assault, 2 charges of criminal use of a communications device, 1 corruption of minors, 1 indecent assault of a juvenile under 16, 2 thefts, 1 receiving stolen property, 1 selling and furnishing of alcohol to a minor, 2 charges of possession of drug paraphernalia, 4 charges of drug possession, a charge of arson, a false fraud insurance claim, 1 charge of theft by deception, an insurance fraud to defraud the insurance company charge, and defiant trespass. Other police activities for the month of November included 189 traffic enforcement details. The department issued 102 traffic citations, issued 86 traffic warnings, conducted 24 school checks, 101 park checks, 55 business checks, and officers participated or attended 79 hours of training in November. So far for 2025, with 1 month left to go, the department's responded to 8,850 calls for service, responded to 307 traffic crashes, 298 offenses have been reported, filed 313 criminal charges, and officers have participated or attended 1,931 hours of training. And that would be your November 2025 activity report.
Okay, any questions for the chief?
I have none.
Hopefully everything was quiet with the snow.
It was not. But I'm busy.
Thank you for handling it.
Tis the season.
All right, I'll entertain a motion for approval for the chief report.
Also made.
Okay, made, second.
Second.
Okay, all those signify by saying aye. Aye. Thank you, chief. Okay. Moving forward, next on the agenda here is the Joint Rec Authority. Angela Goodwin, how are you, Angela?
Hi, how are you guys?
Good.
All right. I have a couple of things. After hearing about and reviewing the meeting from last month on YouTube, I have some answers to some questions, which I'll go over after I read my report. And wanted to let you know, the reason I was not at the meeting last month was because I had a family thing I had to take care of, and my family will always come first.
should.
So, and I'd like to make a suggestion that if the board chairperson cannot give the report, that maybe you should allow another member of the board to give the report as well. With that being said, our December meeting, this was, of course, our minutes and our financials were approved. Don was sworn back onto the board. Tony Buck will be stepping down the end of this month. River Crossing YMCA, we did have 2 members from them that did come out and attend the meeting, our meeting this past month. They're very serious about doing a 5-year contract with us, with the pool. And they'd like to start that immediately if they could. But they know that we have expressed a management agreement with them. So they're going back to their board to see about drawing up a management maybe agreement with us if we can, hopefully for next year, but it could be the following year. The slide, the board did agree to vote on a slide. We did purchase a slide. Decided to go with the slide, Blue Steps, the yellow slide. It's going to be delivered in April. We do have a resident of the township that has offered very kindly to install the slide for us at a very low cost compared to what they were offering. We decided to purchase the slide now because it was a lot cheaper if we did it now versus waiting. We've been looking at the slide since last year, like January, February of last year is when it kind of started, where we started looking at prices and before they go up anymore. And we did get a very good price on this one. We saved for, like I said, the installation as well as saving on shipping for this. And we also got a discount paying for it in November versus waiting until next year. So,
And discounts are in thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Just hundreds.
yes.
We had asked I have a question for you regarding that before you move on.
Mm-hmm.
We had asked last month about, if it was investigated, if the insurance was going to go up at all for it, and also, if you needed an additional lifeguard because of the, if a kid goes down the slide, doesn't get
Right.
out of the way and somebody else comes down.
We'd have figured that we're going to need an additional lifeguard.
Oh.
We do have pretty many staffed now. So we want to kind of talk with the River Valley YMCA to see where they, if management steps up to see where they think we need to be with, as far as it goes with lifeguards
Okay.
as well. The insurance wise, we do not need to increase the insurance, but we did decide to purchase coverage for $343 for the year in case there's any damage to the slide.
Okay.
So
The other, how did you pay for the slide? Like, did you do a fundraiser or something?
yeah, well, we did. That's what we wanted to do, but because we were getting the discount and getting such a good discount on the slide, we decided to use funds from the conservation
Okay.
easement that we got. We'd like to replenish them, which I had in my next paper.
Okay.
We'd like to replace some funds with doing some fundraising for it. Shelley has already started that at the Winterfest, with doing a penguin plunge, in May. We would like to do that and be like the first to go down the slide before the pool is officially open. So, like I said, she's already got her ideas going for maybe doing some fundraising to hopefully replenish all of them funds. I don't know if that'll happen, but it'd be nice if we could.
Okay.
Pool repairs and updates. Again, we have a resident, Dave Woods, from Woods Pool. has been kind enough to work with us and maybe give us some prices and some ideas for the pool. We know that they would have to be approved by the board first. Again, this would just go by what happens with the the feasibility study on what's going to be done come next year. But Dave has been giving us some ideas on what can be done if the grant is not if we don't get grants to redo the pool. Paul Davis and Don Cronhamel have been working on a grant. They did apply for a $350,000 grant from LSA, which is a local shore account. This is a matching, or it's not a matching bid, excuse me, and that would be to cover the cost of engineering plans if we can move forward again with the feasibility study. Events and fundraising. We had, again, had a stand at the Winterfest as well as a penguin, which drew a lot of attraction. She did make $386 there. We have the Perk will be hosting a dine and donate for us on January 5th. That's the only one we have scheduled at the moment. We will be doing a flower sale as well, again, at the corner of Bethlehem Pike and Ridge Road. We did really well with that last year, and we'd like to be able to do that again this year. And the board approved the Penguin Pledge, like I said, on May 23rd. So May 23rd from 2 to 4, and that's the day before the pool opens. The feasibility study. We are asking, I did give you paperwork in regards to this, for a referendum to be placed. I do have that here, that, like I said, I attached to my report. We would like to ask that the board to include a referendum to the ballot in May of next year to see if residents would support improvements to the pool, and if the majority wins, the board supports the community's decision. So I'd like to ask the board to at least consider that. Some new business is cyber insurance. It was brought to our attention we might possibly need cyber insurance, but after Sellersville Borough looked into it, the rec desk is included with their cyber insurance, so we are good with that. No extra funds are needed for that. The budget, I did give you a copy of the budget for next year for the pool that we worked with. I have that here. So you should have a copy of that. Let's see, what else am I at? The appointment of the committee heads. Hal, as of January, will be the chairperson starting January. I said that already. And that was that. Now, I have the list of improvements that I know you had mentioned in last month's meeting. And I did write up a little report here. First, I don't understand what happened at last month's meeting. It seemed like it was a very hostile meeting towards the pool. So I'd like to address some of the concerns that came up with that. I know we have been very transparent on what we have done to the pool and the money that has been put out for the pool. I have the list here. I have actually added another 3 today because I did forget about some. We replaced a new pump. The blue lines were repainted. The pump was mentioned in February. The blue lines were mentioned in the February report. The baby pool was painted, was also painted, which was mentioned in the February report. The splash pad, the concrete was stained. All the bathroom floors and the office floors were stained. The benches were stained. The exterior wall in the ladies' room was repaired. Snack stand window was repaired. Let's see, I'm trying to think of some other things. Oh, and the fence was cleared. All the fencing work was cleared from all the brushing and everything. All that stuff was done at no cost, all by volunteers. Some of it was done at cleanup days, and like the fencing, these people came and did this work for us over time, over several weeks to get that cleared for us. The splash pad, the the motor for the splash pad, the pump, that had to be fixed. That was also done by a volunteer. Lap line reel was also welded and repaired by a volunteer, which was my husband. Let's see, we had a couple trees that were removed, which I mentioned in March's report. We had dead limbs on trees that were done, which I mentioned in July's report. We had a raised patio block, or excuse me, it was a block patio. The wall was pulling out and that was very dangerous. We had that completely removed and river rock put in that. That's one thing I think I did miss putting on a report, but we had that done as well. We had the mower serviced, which I mentioned in February's report, and that was done. It was a sponsorship by Trumbauers. We bought Chase lounges, which we mentioned in April's report, and it was on the finances in June. And the slide, like I said, that was mentioned several times throughout the year. I mentioned it in September and October about that. And the rec desk was purchased, which was mentioned in March. So I know you'd mentioned about the money for the conservation easement, which I'm sorry, I was not aware that was conditions for the money that was given to us. I know the funds that were used for the, the only funds we used from the easement were for the feasibility study, and now, which we did that so we can apply for grants, and now for the slide, which again, we're hoping to replenish them. The property did appraise for twice the amount that you gave us, that we received. If anybody had any questions, they're more than welcome to attend a meeting. They could come out on a work day to ask questions, or they could have reached out to a board member and asked some questions. Anybody could answer them. Just like the dog park, this pool is a nice option in our area. A comment that was made to me from someone on your board was people in West Rock Hill have property, so they have their own pools. Well, if that's the case, then why do we have a dog park? Do you have numbers for the amount of people that use the dog park? Here's another comment made to me. Pools are nice, but after a while they lose interest. I'm like, that's why I don't have one in my backyard. It's a new toy, it's fun, it's cool at first, and then it becomes work. And that's why having community pool to attend, it is there for when you want it, and it's much cheaper to have than to afford a pool in my own backyard. This pool's a business. We, the people on the board, are not experienced pool people. We are doing the best we can with the help and suggestions from people that do have the experience. We are all volunteers, not making a dime, and putting out a lot of our own time and funds to make this pool something wonderful for the community. Most of everyone that helps with this pool do it for the same reason, the community and the kids. We all want our kids to go out from behind the computer screens, but yet we don't want to give them something to do. For most of us, the community pool was a thing all of us did over the summer. It looks like a lot of new homes will be built over the next year in our area, and I'm sure they will most likely be, if not all, townhomes. That means a lot of new residents that will have little to no yards, and I'm sure they will appreciate having a community that has the amenities we have here. Why can't a parks fee or something like that be applied to builders on a percentage of the number of homes being built? This could go towards upgrades or updates for the joint rec and the park and rec. Like the building across the street, this pool has been a staple in the community to enjoy for a long time. And we've been told by several people, this pool feels like going to a resort pool. When the board does not show support for this pool, it does not help us to get support from the community. So I'm asking for the board's support for this pool and for the residents of this area for the pool as well. That's it.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
The flower sale, you're having it at Which corner of Bethlehem Pike and Ridge Road?
Across from Silverdale Auto, he owns a lot there and he allows us to use the lot.
I'm just concerned about traffic and safety.
Yeah, no, we actually, we did it last year, but we only did it for the one day. And we did very well there, actually. So thank you.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate your concern.
I'll just make one brief comment on your report that you just read there.
Hmm.
If the board didn't support the pool, we would not have given the funds, from the conservation money that we did. However, and there is no restrictions. The board has no say on how you spend that money.
Okay,
That's on you.
okay,
We can't tell you how to spend them, but what we can do is we can watch and we can observe how you spend it as far as giving you any new funding or any more funding. Okay?
hmm,
For example, from my perspective, you need to get more users to support the pool.
right,
Okay?
hmm,
When I've asked for a year, 2 years for the numbers of how many season tickets were sold. Okay, I finally got it last month or the month before.
I was gonna say it was a couple months, yeah.
63 season tickets in West Rock Hill were sold. Those are season passes. I'm not talking about daily use.
Right,
That's not enough to support the pool for taxpayers to be giving uncontrolled amounts of money.
I get that.
Okay, so just to say, we do support the pool, but we can only support it so much. And the money that we gave, the $290,000, is a good chunk of money.
Oh, I'm not,
Did you get that match from our partner?
no,
No,
we
okay.
didn't, but it was West Rock
You
Hill
spent
that did the conservation
$50,000
easement.
towards a feasibility study, right? You
Right.
didn't even get a set. Mr. Woods gave a report last month. Did you listen to that on the?
Yes, I listened
Okay.
to the whole thing and I seen how upset you were that we purchased a slide. Well, with any business, you have to spend money to make money.
But you-
And so we're putting in a slide hoping to bring in some more business.
But you said you made money. How much money did you make last year?
No, I did not say we made money last year. What I said was we have to spend some money to make some money. So we're replacing the slide.
Oh,
A lot of people are very happy that we purchased this slide.
okay.
So we're hoping it brings in more money. That's all we can do. Everything that we have done, even this year, the Chase Lounge chairs, people loved them. We're hoping it brings in more. They tell two friends and they tell two friends and it brings in more business. That's all we can do.
Okay.
We can't change what, the economy. So what West Rock Hill residents, like I said, if we don't have full support from our community, it doesn't make the community members want to go to that pool. But yet we do have a lot of people that drive here from elsewhere to go to that pool. And let me tell you, that pool is one of the pools in the area that has all the camps that go there. That's a lot of camps that we have go to that pool. And you know what's great about that? Some of them kids, that's the only way they learn to swim. These kids don't get to go to a pool other than that.
I understand
And
that.
that's why I do this. It's not for me. I have a private pool to go to if I want to go to it.
Mhm.
I go to this one. It's nice to be able to have a pool you could sit and relax at. Yes, are the kids there? Yeah, but you know what? That's why I'm doing this.
And the residents of West Rock Hill Township did support that pool by they're paying for $290,000.
I get that.
Okay? So
That was conservation easement.
it's still taxpayer money.
I get
Okay.
that. Right.
So we're
But I'm
supporting the
saying
pool.
it appraised at a higher amount than what we received. We're not spending this money irresponsibly. There was another member that mentioned that we were spending it irresponsibly. You were upset because we purchased the slide. But again, we have,
And only because it was said here in this public meeting, and we're going to end it here.
Mhm,
It was said in this public meeting that you were going to do fundraising to purchase that slide.
right.
That was said. If you go back through the minutes and look it up.
I'm not denying that.
Okay.
I'm not denying it at all, but I'm
So-
saying
so
we had an
therefore-
opportunity to buy it at a much cheaper price. And we didn't want to lose out on that because they keep on going up and going up like everything else.
Fair enough.
So that's why, I wanted to address,
Okay.
we purchased it immediately because of that, So do we want to raise money to replace that, replenish them funds? Most certainly.
Okay.
We'd like to keep that money this way because some of the grants you have to match them only 50%.
Right.
We can't make repairs and updates if we don't have grant money. There's no other way to do it. So I just wanted to make you aware, that's why we spent the money.
Okay.
We didn't do it because we're being irresponsible. It's nothing more than, I would say all of us are frugal on this board, especially myself.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
okay.
Any other questions?
I have no questions.
Can I ask a question?
I did want to go through and point out that the charter for Holiday House is to serve all of the neighborhoods and be a regional park facility and a regional pool facility. And as I know we've had gone back and forth, we have no idea how many people use James Park across the street. We don't take ID and figure out how many West Rock Hill Township residents, how many Hilltown Township residents, how many Percy, Sellersboro. The park has the same guidance as Holiday House, which is try to make as many people happy as you can for the least amount of money. So although we had 63 sales of season tickets, until recently, we did not have the ability to track, well, how many people came in from West Rock Hill or Sellersboro or the location, because we don't sit there like a music festival and scan cards and scan IDs to keep track of how many people are coming in. Same way that the Heritage House doesn't keep track of, well, how many people are from West Rock Hill, how many people from Sellersboro, how many people from here. So although we have 63 season tickets, we also get people who walk in, and the better metric is during a really hot weekend, we'll have 1,000 people coming through per week. And so if we can have several weeks of having several thousand people or a couple thousand people show up and use the pool, that's great. Aside from Septemberfest and the fishing derby, I don't think I've ever seen 1,000 people at the park in a week. But I'm not sitting here counting with a clicker and figuring it out. We just have to do the best that we can. I did start running numbers, and so far, James Park from 2017, 2023, average has been about 16,000 per year. And for the historical house or the James House, about 14.4 thousand per year. So we're running pretty close, and I think David is going to yell at me, but I think we have more people using Holiday House than we have people going through the Heritage House. We have several thousand people going through Holiday House in the summertime. I don't think we've had 20, 30,000 people through the Heritage House in the entire time. We might do that for the park, but we'd have to have Chief sit there with like a plate reader and start keeping track of how many people are going through, or set up a timer or set up something. But the idea is, if we can make a lot of people happy for the least amount of money, that's the actual founding document for Holiday House Pool.
All right, very good. So that being said, you don't have any more questions, David?
I have none.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion for approval on Angela's report.
I'll make that motion.
Motion's been made.
I will second.
Second, all those signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you,
All
Angela.
right. Thank you.
Thank you, Angela.
All right, moving on to the next item is tax collector Suzanne Clark.
Who's not here. So I'll read Suzanne's report for November 2025. For the month, collected $899.50. I know that the end of the year is coming. I think after Christmas or Christmas Eve, you have to bring a certified check.
Okay. All right, I'll entertain a motion for approval of the tax collector's report.
So moved.
Motion's been made and second. All those signify by saying aye. Aye. Thank you. All right, moving forward, next on the agenda, engineers report, Mr. Steve Balla.
Hey, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So the first item on the agenda is the curve sketch plan waiver land development request. I believe we have a representative here to discuss the application.
Good evening, Melissa Bodiger from Horizon Engineering, and this is the property owner, Mr. James Care.
How are you doing?
Good, how are you doing?
Great.
Just for a brief, quick summary, Mr. Care lives at 2730 Old Bethlehem Pike. His residence is there. He also has a small internet business located at that property. It is zone PC2. He would like to construct a pole barn absolutely specifically for his residential use. Has nothing to do with the business, so that he can get his boat in the barn, take all his young child's toys and things, get them out of the house and into the barn for his lawn equipment, etc. No additional impervious besides the building itself is going to go in. It's going to be placed right at the end of some existing macadam. So there'll be no other, he has no employees, there'll be no water, no sewer, no other, just an electric connection for lighting in there. I know Mr. Bala had said that they were looking at it as that it was an extension of the commercial use, and it is not.
But it's on a commercial property.
It is on a commercial property with the primary use is his residential. And under the zoning code, he is allowed to put an accessory use to as an accessory building for the residential use.
Okay.
The planning commission did recommend granting that use with the provision that he sign a covenant that it will remain as a residential use. Pole barn. We were looking for a waiver of land development since we are just plopping the building down, no other improvements for that. The planning commission also supported that waiver of land development. So we're
I have a
looking.
question, the current use, the business use on this property is selling automobile parts on the internet, correct?
That is correct.
So the carcasses, these vehicles and the pieces that come from these vehicles to support this business, that's all done on this property as well, right?
Yes. In the back.
And how many vehicles do you have derelict at one time on this property?
I don't think there's ever been more than 28.
28.
I just got rid of one 2 weeks ago, so I think there's 26. I honestly didn't count currently.
So it looks like a junkyard.
I don't think it does. I mean, a lot of people that say it looks very orderly because it's just in a row.
All right.
I don't actually take, like, there's no hoods or doors off. They stay at the exterior shell stays the same until it goes in to get completely disassembled.
Got it.
Then the junkyard carcass goes to Wilcox. So, if I need a switch off a dash, I'll go outside and take it off. But I don't like to take doors or hoods off or anything, because then water gets in and then it ruins everything. So they stay as pretty much a complete vehicle until it goes in to get taken apart.
So the proposed fence then is to separate the residential portion of the property from the business portion of the property. Correct?
No, that would be like the fence was going along the property line, since the planning commission said it needed to shield the neighbor.
Oh, shield the neighbor.
Yes, yeah.
It's not necessarily true, because that'd be like right in the middle of the driveway and will block obviously access to the building.
Yeah, he's had conversations with his neighbor and they're working together on,
I believe my neighbor had previously contacted the township about putting a fence up to contain his dog. I think that was earlier this year. And I said, why don't you just wait to see what I need to do and come up with a joint plan? Because I know he has the hedges in the front of along the Old Bethlehem Pike side. And obviously, if he puts a fence up, those hedges would come down. And we had talked that half the fence in the front of his and the back of his will be on his side of the property, and then in the middle next to the cars. And I did make up a drawing that I did not bring, but I can hand out to you guys if you'd like. Because I'm not sure where would require the fence on my side. If it's just along the driveway side on mine.
That's where the planning commission was talking about that little stretch in
My
there
concern
from-
was the separation of the residential portion from the business.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's only like
Gotcha.
30 feet apart between my garage, between the house and the commercial building.
Yeah, he doesn't get any people that come in for sales or anything like that. It's
Yeah,
just
no.
all gets shipped out. He's no employees.
No, I know, but we have the, it's, unfortunately, this is interesting because it's an exception to the exception to the exception that it's residential in an area and you're building an extension to the residential to move the personal stuff out of what will then be part of the commercial space. And
Yeah.
it's now being stored in the commercial space, so it kind of is expanding, it's allowed, well, you're using,
Wow.
you're getting full use of the commercial space that's
Yeah.
currently being used for personal, which is kind of expanding the business, but it's not really because it's not expanding the building, but
Which
you're
you've
getting
already
full use
approved
out
me
of.
for that building.
So,
Am I correct to say that? You've already
Yeah.
approved me for the whole use of the building. It was just my choice to store personal stuff in it. And
Yep.
honestly, one of the main driving forces is the commercial building insurance and my boat insurance in case of fire.
Yeah.
They don't really like the boat
The
being
cross.
in the cross because in case of fire, who's paying?
Yeah.
So that
So
was
he
more of
wants
the
to s-
driving force to get all personal things out because they're not covered under the commercial
He wants
insurance.
to separate those. Yeah. And he's got a young child. You know how much stuff comes
Yeah.
along with a very young child.
So where do we have to go now tonight?
Well, this is a sketch plan / waiver land development request, so it's
Okay.
not, you're not under a 90-day review
Okay.
clock as it was, if it were a full application. You do have time to consider it if you're not comfortable making any decisions tonight.
One of the things that I think about with the waiver requests is if down the road, if it does become full commercial, if you would sell the property or something, then those improvements and stuff would have to be made. Because you would be curb, sidewalk, all that kind of stuff. That would,
And that's where I think Steve had suggested the planning commission, if I do a covenant, that new building could never, in the history of the property moving forward, ever be used for commercial.
and that's.
So that would
so
only
that's-
restrict me for
I
sales.
know that you
Yeah.
feel comfortable, but I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
From experience here in
Never
this
say
township,
never.
things change. Things change with owners, whoever's the next person buys it, and then it gets incorporated into the business.
Whereas
The
I
commercial.
thought Steve said if it was put in, if I
Well-
sell it to you, it could never, ever in the history moving forward, ever be used for commercial, is my understanding.
Until someone comes back and asks to change the covenant and
Well, then
and
they have
use
to come
it,
back,
but-
but then you would
Yeah.
have the approval then to then make them
Yes.
do all that.
But I think what the board is discussing is you could do a covenant another way that says if and when it becomes a commercial use, then you have to do X, Y, and Z on the property. It could
Oh,
be
Yes.
a covenant, but
Okay,
flip the other
sure.
way to anticipate that someday it might be used for
Yeah.
commercial.
I understand. I misunderstood.
Yeah.
What's the metrics to make sure that it doesn't become part of the commercial use? I know you're saying what you're gonna do now is.
Yeah, I got
but-
you.
But,
If I sell it
after
in
you get this,
20 years.
after you get this approved, no, I'm saying you.
Oh,
Oh,
You get this approved, and you put your boat in there and stuff now, and then 2 years from now, you're doing so well with the business that you got so many cars and parts, you need,
I'll be honest, I'm maxed out on my time now. I don't want to employ.
you need space.
There's really not much more I can do without hiring someone, and I don't want to go down that road. I just kind of like it myself.
Okay.
So like, I work 16-hour days as it is. I don't have any more time in a day to expand. I'm kind of maxed out on what I'm doing.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're dealing with the property, not with, we're thinking about,
person.
we're thinking about the
And I
property,
understand.
so it's like, yes.
Property can change it in a
And I mean,
heartbeat.
I've read the ordinance. I think it's 450.1001. I mean, it says by right, I can build a residential, but through the ordinance, I don't see anywhere where it says I can't do a residential building.
Sure.
Anywhere in the ordinance, even
Right.
though I am
Yeah.
using it for commercial use.
Yeah, we're only bringing up
Yeah,
the scenario of what might happen.
correct.
Yeah, we're thinking about, if your best case scenario is you hit the lottery tomorrow and move
Oh,
to Aruba, and then somebody else buys this. and wants to-
Yeah. Then they'd have to come back and then go through all the,
Okay, so we need to do what tonight?
condition it on that.
Or
Don't have to do anything.
table it.
Table it. Okay.
You want to further consider how a covenant would be
I would
established on the
suggest we
property.
table, I would suggest we table this then and
I agree.
have some further discussion on how something would be
Put
rolled
together
out.
the
Discussion
covenant. So
together, or just you, or asking me, or,
Well, I think the professionals, the staff would just,
I'm just saying to answer questions.
Not you.
we got to knock out a covenant to figure out how we can
Okay.
word it so you can get moving on this.
Yeah.
Right. To
Yeah.
that point, I know you were talking about a residential use, but would you agree to a restriction that it's not going to be turned into an in-law suite or living space or anything like that? You're not contemplating any living space in the new building.
Oh, no, I mean, it's just gonna be a concrete slab, no sewer.
Okay.
I'm probably just gonna pull electric off the current building.
Yeah, no
Underground,
sewer, no water
no sewer,
connection.
just- Probably just simple
Okay.
service for
Yeah.
lights, garage door opener. So, and obviously, like, the weather's cold now, so I know the fence is option, but I'd like to just try to get the building permit, get the building up, then put the fence so there's room.
Understand.
To
Or
move around, yeah.
since I think the fence is in 15 feet away from the building is where it would be proposed.
Yeah, he's got like 15 feet between his
About
edge of his
18, 20
driveway
feet.
and the property line.
So just to see where you require the fence, since they brought that up, and I think
Yeah.
Steve had mentioned, because it's not, if we, obviously there has to be done, a fence is at 6 or 8 feet, and that changes a lot of things.
Okay. All right,
We can
well,
start working on language for the
Yeah.
covenant and get this moving.
Would you be in favor of, we were also looking for the stormwater peak rate exemption? Just apply, and we're just looking to make sure that you, agree.
yeah, they meet the,
With that.
they meet the letter of the ordinance for,
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Okay.
and
Okay.
you recognize it's a cumulative number, so you
Yes.
can't ask for the exemption again if the next
Yep.
project
Oh,
puts
yeah,
you,
it's 5,000.
puts you
Yep.
over the,
And anybody after this point only has a few square feet left, so they would have to come in.
Okay.
If they ever wanted to do anything. He's just gonna put the
Yeah.
building, boom, right there at the end of his existing macadam. And we have no other plans for any other, impervious surface,
Okay.
in there, so, yeah. So we're hoping, that you, at some point, you'll support the waiver, and we'll go in with a building permit, and he can get his building
Get rolling.
permit for that. And
They're
get
definitely
rolling.
booking a couple months, I think they're 4 or 5 months out already, and just trying to get on the schedule, but I don't want to get on the schedule and then have to push it, so.
Well, hopefully we'll get the
Okay,
professionals to discuss things and have a plan, okay?
Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Thank you so
for your
much.
time.
Thank you.
have a good evening.
Have a good evening and Merry Christmas to you.
Yes, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
hey, that's all I have on my agenda, other than just to note, we have the Green Top Reserve at Rock Hill plans for signature for the meeting.
Okay, thank you. All right, I'll entertain a motion for approval on engineer's report.
I'll make that motion.
I will second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, ayes have it. Thank you. Moving forward, solicitor's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The first item on my report tonight is to consider the land development application number 505 of Tim Snyder through Butter Creek Builders Incorporated. Is Mr. and Mrs. Snyder here tonight? Don't see that Mr. and Mrs. Snyder are here tonight. But that won't, we can still proceed. We actually must proceed tonight because we have a deadline of December 31st for action on this plan. As we discussed at the last meeting, there are certain deficiencies with how the plan was submitted, deficiencies in the nature of not meeting the requirements of our subdivision and land development ordinance. So you have several options tonight. You may deny the application as not being in compliance with our ordinances, or you may approve it with conditions that would bring it into compliance. I have prepared a resolution number 2025-19. It is indeed that number. We had pre-marked it at the last meeting for your consideration, and it is for board discussion action tonight, whether to deny it outright or to approve it with conditions. I will turn it over to you, Mr. Chairman, for discussion.
So, as all of us know, we've had some discussion regarding this plan. I have made my point clear as far as the wish to make sure that the driveways are separated so that the property owners are responsible for their own driveway and you don't run into arguments of who is taking care of the driveway when you have a shared driveway. And of course, that has been one of the key factors that they have fought against. They want to stick with the shared driveways because it's cheaper. And of course, we all know that the same person is going to own that driveway in that house forever. So the board's view was trying to keep any turmoil from happening in the future of whoever owns that property. And all of us know that somebody else is going to own our properties at some point in time. So therefore, I have been adamant about sticking with separate driveways. But we are faced with a dilemma here because we have to make a decision.
Right.
On whether we deny or whether we approve to go forward with things. And as their attorney indicated, they did have their plan submitted before we did change the covenant. However, that doesn't mean that we couldn't approve the plan under the township's conditions. And that would that leave it up to Mr. Snyder to?
Yes, the way that it would work is that if you do sign the approval resolution, the conditional approval resolution tonight, we would then, and one of the conditions of the resolution is that Mr. and Mrs. Snyder would need to sign an agreement to accept the conditions of approval within 5 days of the signing of this resolution. If they fail to do so, it automatically reverts to a denial of their application. But if they give us the acceptance within 5 days, that acceptance of conditions would then be recorded at the Recorder of Deeds office, that any future property owner would understand the conditions to not share the driveways among the other conditions that we have.
And by doing that, he would then be allowed to move forward. If he signs the conditions, he would be allowed to move forward with his development.
As long as he complies with all the conditions, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Just making sure that's clear.
I agree. I think we should, my feeling, I think we should approve the resolution with the conditions.
Al?
Yeah, this has been going on for a long time. I think we should approve this so that he can get moving and he can decide whether he wants to do this
Okay.
or again, try to do something different, but I think we should get this moving.
With separate driveways.
Of course.
Yes. So,
Would entertain a motion
I'm going to
for,
entertain a motion.
yes.
Motion.
Okay, the motion's been made.
I will second.
It's been seconded. Read the way we're going to do it again.
So it would be a motion to grant conditional preliminary final approval of the land development application of Butter Creek Builders Incorporated, subject to all the conditions as outlined in resolution number 2025-19 as presented by the solicitor.
Okay, thank you very much. So we have a motion made and second. All those signify by saying aye. Aye. Thank you.
Yeah, let's get this moving.
Mr. Chairman, we have one other housekeeping item on this development. There's a sewage facilities planning module, which goes along with all new development.
Yep.
That accommodates the DEP approval of the on-lot sewage system.
Okay.
So this has 6 lots, whether it has shared driveways or not shared driveways, the lots aren't changing. There's 6
Right.
lots.
That's nothing to do with it.
So I recommend that you would make a motion to approve sewage facilities planning module for the Butter Creek Builders project.
Okay. I'll
I'll make
entertain.
that motion.
I'll make that motion.
Motion's been made, second.
Second.
Okay, all those signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, good.
Approved.
Moving this along.
I will communicate those results in the vote to Mr. Snyder and his attorney such that they have the opportunity to accept if they choose.
Okay.
My next agenda item is for the conditional use hearing for Tech Granite LLC at 904 Ridge Road, tax parcel 52-010-142. That was advertised twice in the newspaper for tonight and also posted. However, we yesterday were granted an extension of time to render a decision on that application through the end of January of next year. And as a result, the hearing will be conducted on January 21st of 2026 at the Board of Supervisors regular meeting under my solicitor's report. I have nothing further to report other than that. Does anybody have any questions on the conditional use application?
I have none, and I did announce it, announcements in the beginning that the conditional use was going to be tabled until next month.
And that was so anybody could leave if you were
Yeah.
going to wait.
You don't wanna
You have to wait until now to find out it was going to be moved.
So you had the chance to leave, but you're still here.
Okay, seeing no questions for Mr. Solicitor, I will entertain a motion for approval of the solicitor's report.
I'll make that.
I'll second.
Okay, motion's been made and second. All those signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next on the agenda is the manager report. Mr. Lippincott, how are you?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The first item and only item is adopting the 2026 budget. It was discussed at the October meeting, the November meeting. It's been advertised and it's been put on the website. The budget proposes a 2.5 mil increase, which will be approximately, if you want to go to the next slide, would be approximately $70 per property owner. Other than that, if the board has any questions, all I need is a motion to adopt the budget.
Any questions? Fellow board?
We've looked at this for 3 months. I think we're ready.
Okay, are you making a motion?
I'll make that motion
Okay,
to adopt the
motion's been
budget.
made.
I will second.
Second, all those signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay. Moving forward.
That's all I have.
Well, that was nice. Wonderful. Okay, next on the, I'll entertain a motion for approval of the manager's report.
I'll make that motion.
Motion's been made.
I will second.
Second, all those signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Any old business?
I have none.
I want to ask about one thing. Well, two things, actually. Ridge Road, the shoulder, and, County Line Road, the shoulder that was breaking off, going down the hill. Has PennDOT done anything with those two places?
No.
Okay.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Can we inquire, reach out?
For the County Line Road, they said they'll look at it when they repave County Line Road. For Ridge Road, they've done the signage in lieu of fixing all the signage along Ridge Road,
Okay,
which one is leaning in front of the township building right now.
We're missing a couple of signs yet.
okay, any other, you have any old business, David?
I have none.
Okay,
No, thank
any new business?
I have none.
No, just to note that PennDOT put up a whole bunch of signs and the first oversized load took out at least 2 or 3 signs.
I got,
Driving down the road, it's ping, 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 ping.
I do have some new business, okay? And I had the opportunity to meet a lady that is a volunteer in this township that orchestrates toys, food, money for the less fortunate. And I even got a pamphlet from her, but I failed to bring it with me. And I'm going to ask this nice lady if she would come forward here. Tara, do you have a minute? Gigi. And I apologize, but all I want you to do is I want you to explain the organization. Please. You're fine. You're fine.
Take a deep breath.
The only thing I want to do is for you to tell the public the organization that you're involved in, the name of it, and where they can help if they would so choose.
I own a nonprofit called Kindness Between Friends. I serve Bucks and Montgomery County, and I was a little surprised when I saw Jay show up. Mr. Kaiser, show up with a truckload of gifts. We served over 500 families this year. And today was my last day, so I'm a little happy.
Yes.
But we serve them. We also provide groceries for them and about 15 gifts per child and an
great.
outfit and a jacket.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very
I
much.
appreciate everything you've done. And I just want to say, I promise I will have the information in the township building here for next year when this takes place. So I apologize for making you come forward or asking you to come forward, but you did a great job. Okay, moving forward. Any other new business? Seeing none? Any public comment? If so, please raise your hand. Yes, sir? Can you come up here to the podium, please?
Good evening, gentlemen. Stephen Howard, 400 Goldmine Road. At the last meeting, I brought to the attention of the board 2 zoning complaints, which I have filed regarding the storage of apparently abandoned tractor trailers along the edge of my property. I'm wondering if you could provide an update on any type of enforcement activity. I know Mr. Keatley said he was considering writing a letter to the property owners. I don't know if there's been any new developments. I was wondering if you could inform me of anything that's happened since the last meeting.
I sent a letter, Mr. Howard, to, I'm going to say it's 283 Gold Mine / 185 Airport Road, that property. I sent a letter. I don't have the exact date, but it was in the last 2 weeks. We gave them a compliance date for some point in January. I can give you the exact dates. I can't find my own report in front of me to give you the exact dates of the letter. As to the other property on Simmons, I think Mr. Lippincott can speak to that.
Yeah.
He may have a meeting set up.
Yeah, I was supposed to go out there on Monday, but due to the snowstorm, it's been delayed till tomorrow.
So you have an inspection pending, is that?
Tomorrow. I was supposed to go out Monday, but because of the
Oh.
snowstorm, I didn't come.
All right,
We
well, I
rescheduled.
appreciate your time and I'll follow up the next meeting, I guess.
Thank you.
Thank you for your patience.
Okay, any other?
Yep, good idea. Kelly Fox, 211 Holiday House Road. Something that you guys said tonight kind of came to my attention was that you had gotten the property of the pool appraised. And you had it appraised for half the price that it was worth. And my question to you is that appraisal, you're controlling the amount of houses that a developer could come in and put in here? Because at this point, Select Properties has all these EDUs open that they don't fulfill. And if that pool fails, they have the other 12 acres up on the other side of the hill there, right across from the school that you kind of turned down already for these 33 houses. And now if they go down here and buy this property, I'm not sure where you came up with your appraisal. If you're limiting the amount of houses that you got your appraisal on for that property or what?
No, that's not how, and I'll just remind you, this is public comment, not questions and answers.
Okay. All right. My public comment then is, the public comment would be that it should be a community decision.
Correct. And it was. Open space is a community decision, okay?
So we're gonna need that.
I guess I can quickly clarify is you get an appraisal, which is the value of the entire property.
Right.
Then when you get a conservation easement, you're taking the development portion of that and essentially you're buying the development rights and taking them away. If West Rock Hill decided to purchase the entire property, then it would pay the entire price. The reason that there's only a portion of the price is that's the estimate of what the development potential of the property is. That's what we bought. Is okay, here's the right to develop it. Nope. You don't have that anymore. Nobody has that anymore. It's now under lock and key, so it can't be developed. So that's how so that's why you have the difference between here's the appraised value. The appraised value is the entire property. If you were to buy it, if you want to control what's going to happen with it, then you buy development rights and that's a little bit less. That's how we often do open space transactions is somebody wants to live the property, but will buy out the development potential and person still gets to live there. It's kind of like having a mortgage. Like, okay, you still own the property, but you get money for part of it.
Yeah, well, just clarify, just to clarify, you never pay the full price. Anytime we purchase development rights, you never pay the price of what the property appraised at, because you're not buying the property. Okay? The homeowner still, the joint wreck authority, the Holly House Pool still owns the property. Okay? All we did was supply funds so that it wouldn't be developed. Okay?
And
And that's what we do with homeowners that do it. Okay?
Yeah, we have had other situations where we buy property outright. In that case, it's
Like the Zimba farm.
Yeah.
We own that. West
End of
Rock Hill
Long
owns
Avenue.
that.
It's like, okay, that one we actually bought, we paid full price because, okay, we're buying the entire property lock, stock and barrel. So that's why there's a difference between appraised and what we paid.
Okay, is there any other public comment? Yes, sir. Can you please come up?
Dave Woods, 1085 Allentown Road. Last month, I spoke as to my dissatisfaction with the Boyer Holiday House feasibility study recommendations. I hope we all recognize that the purpose of this study is a necessary first step toward applying for grants to improve the community pool. My concern with the proposed renovation concepts and the proposed project pricing, both of them were demonstrably unsatisfactory. I've been in the concrete pool construction industry for 45 years. I'm an engineer, and this is exactly what our company specializes in. I've been to the pool with a foreman numerous times this year, talking to the board, taking measurements, and I'm putting together a proposal to do a state-of-the-art full reno on the pool for about 1/4 of their proposed costs. We will be bringing our forces to the pool this spring to help bring the pool into ADA compliance and to construct the $40,000 slide, saving the pool about 15 grand. We'll be doing other work to the pool too. I'll be donating a fair amount of my to this effort. I see the Holiday House pool as a family pool. Unlike Menlo, which is a high energy activity center and more expensive, the Holiday House pool is ideal for young families who can't afford a pool. West Rock Hill has been financing or funding this pool with $15,000 annually for about 50 years nonstop. Recently, it's down to $13,000. If you take $13,000 from West Rock Hill, divided by the 5,500 residents of West Rock Hill, that comes to $2.36 a year per resident. Many of us have spent our childhood years at community swimming holes. This has real value to the community. It helps youngsters develop, and this complex will have a tailwind from the 100+ homes being built nearby. This is common property put together by well-meaning people way before us. And all we have to do is maintain it. We are simply stewards, and we're tasked with maintaining this property for other people's children for $2.36 a year each. It's kind of a no-brainer for me. Please release this funding and support your pool. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Okay, any other public comment? Yes, ma'am?
Gwen Jordan, Valley Road. I'm here to discuss the Hidden Valley Road resurfacing as a result of the sewer work done by Telford Borough Authority. In my comments, I'll present questions. I know this is not a Q&A, so these are merely for you to ponder and possibly discuss amongst yourselves at a future date. 2 meetings ago, the topic of road resurfacing of the Hidden Valley neighborhood as a result of the work done by TBA was on the agenda. Various proposals were sent to the township by TBA with regard to repairing the roads after the work was done. The supervisors indicated that they would send a letter to TBA requesting that the road be resurfaced, which was the highest cost option, and that residents not be charged for this as the township required utilities to repair roads after work was done. Well, guess what? I contacted TBA about it. They stated that they were trying to come up with solutions that would mitigate these additional costs. To me, that means they're charging us. I think they got your letter. They got a good chuckle out of it, crumpled it up, and threw it in the trash. Then they took out their sewer project worksheet and added the cost of the resurfacing to the project, thus passing along to the residents. I contacted the township too and got an, "Oh, well, we tried. We have no authority over what they charge." Did you even try to discuss this with them other than a letter? Obviously, TBA has a bigger set of feet than you do because they're walking all over you and this township. Did you hear my comments at the end of that meeting 2 months ago saying I didn't want that road resurfaced? Did you hear me ask for more stop signs or speed bumps? My voice means nothing because neither of these items was considered or implemented. These are township roads. When is the last time a resident was directly charged to have a township road resurfaced?
Since the township requested this resurfacing, they should be the ones to foot the bill, not the residents. We're totally being taken advantage of with this project. No one is looking out for us. We depend on you. We need you. Where have you been? We need help now. Please consider actually speaking with TBA or take it upon yourselves to pay for your road that you requested to have resurfaced. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Is there any other public comment? Seeing none?
I did have one just to say thank you to Chief for the police officers showing up for Holiday House when we had a alarm going off last Tuesday at like 6 o'clock in the morning. Because we had an alarm going off in the filter house. Apparently we had a squirrel get in and knock stuff over and set off the alarm. Still haven't caught the squirrel, but thank you, Chief, for the officers coming out and paying attention to everything, even though it's in the middle of the morning and really freezing. And thank you also to the neighbors, whoever called the police, to let them know that we had the red light going off and the alarm going off, and we're still going to try to get the squirrel. So that's all.
Okay. All right. I'll entertain first of all, I'd like to say,
Sherry, go to the next slide.
there you go. Yes. We need
Oh,
to-
my.
We need to.
Oh.
I would like to thank David for all of his years of service to the township, not only to the Board of Supervisors, but to the Historical Society and everything else he's done. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure working with you.
Thank you. Yeah, I just, Greg, you're in trouble.
Eddie looks nice.
How did I get here? I grew up in Western Pennsylvania, and I saw pictures of Bucks County and I said, damn, that'd be a nice place to live. And here I am working at Merck in vaccine manufacturing and development, and drew a circle around the facility, and I said, 10 miles either way would be good driving distance. And Bluebell, really expensive, a lot of traffic, West Rock Hill, really nice place to live. So found this property on Barnt Road. Then I find out there's a guy on Lonely Road by the name of Dice Road. And then on Barnt Road, there are people named Furlong and Body and Eleanor Gruber, the first lady of West Rock Hill. And my property backs up into a property owned by someone called Rambo. And my next door neighbor, a really good friend, I mean that, Don DeVal. I mean, I didn't have a chance. I had to be a part of this township. So it's a great place to live. It really is. And, you know, we have a police department that's there 24/7. You don't have to wait 20 minutes for the state police. We have a tax collector. She's not here this evening, but she opened her office 24/7 for you as well. We have some people down in Public Works that, I don't know where you were on Saturday night. I was sleeping and they were loading salt and they were plowing the roads. It's a really, really, really good township. And we have people in the office here, Linda AM and Linda PM. And we don't see them, but they're always there. They're always working and they're always smiling. And then we have a bookkeeper who I think has been here longer than anybody in the township. In fact, she can run the township, Sherry. Our engineer, he has got so much tribal knowledge. He bought the company and he's the president now. And Grim Beam is always, regardless of who's sitting here, is always giving us really good advice on what to do and what not to do. And we have a planning commission that turns every stone over. And they make really solid decisions based on a lot of questions. I've been to the meetings. I've been to the meetings before I was a supervisor, during the time I've been here. They are one of the most important parts of making this township what it is. Conservation Committee, very quietly keeping this township exactly the way you want it. Rural with a lot of open space. Township manager puts out a lot of fires. And my personal experience is a lot of stuff happens, the buck stops at his desk. A lot of things he takes care of that never even have to make it to this meeting or the board because he just takes care of things. Fellow supervisors, they have opinions and they're not afraid to express them. Sometimes talk too much, but they're very, and I mean this, they're very passionate and they really care about this township. They really do. And the Historical Society, obviously, they are just preserving the heritage of this great township. So with that, I can drop the mic. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Okay, that being said, I'd like to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and we'll see you in January. Reorganization is the first Monday, right?
January 5th.
January 5th, okay?
Yeah.
Is our reorganization meeting. And then the January supervisor meeting will be the 21st.
Right.
Yep. So everybody have a great night. Okay?
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Yes, in case you're really bored for January 5th.